So welcome everyone to our Monday night course spotlight. I'm Kathy Lawson, Chief Knowledge Officer of the Great Discovery. I love to host these sessions because it's our time to learn, which is what the platform's all about. So some of you remember that Mark was here just a couple weeks ago and did a spotlight on his virtual vacation course, which we'll let you say again that you put a discount on. And tonight he's going to talk about another course. Let me remind you about Mark and his background. It's really impressive. And then I'll turn it over to him and let him tell you about all of his great courses and content. So Mark Siegel is a personal mindset trainer who has over 30 years of experience with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, and success coaching. He helps entrepreneurs grow a profitable business that they can love, loving what they do and doing what they love. So tonight, Mark is going to talk about another course called the Circle of Excellence. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mark, and you can tell us about that course and anything else you'd like to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathy. And so how many people want work-life balance? Okay. I got some news for you. You can't have it. And the reason you can't have it is that I'm not restricting you. It doesn't exist. It literally does not exist. There's no such thing. Because first of all, as I'm going to talk about tonight, with life, there's more than just work and life, right? There's actually 10 areas, and you can't balance 10 things. It's kind of like, remember those guys at the circus that would do the spinning plates, they have a pole with all the plates on it. So imagine they're holding 10 poles. How do you balance those 10 poles with the spinning plates? You can't. Sooner or later, one of them is going to drop. So the thing is, I have a very unique way of looking at this. And for years, this was part of my other program, and it was done as homework. And I realized it's much more beneficial to just do it as a standalone thing and a precursor to my other program, which will be coming out next. So that program is Design the Ultimate You. This program is Circle of Excellence, which is about looking at 10 areas of your life. So I'm going to list the 10 areas, and I want you to tell me which one's important and which one doesn't matter. So let's start with your health, your relationship with your friends, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your significant other, romance, your spirituality, your personal growth, your physical environment, and your career, and your finances, and fun and recreation. So which one of those is not important? And how do you balance all those when you start to look at it? You can't. But here's the thing that you can do. I like to compare it to music. So in music, you've got all these different instruments, right? So take a typical like blues or rock or jazz band, right? And are the drums in balance with the bass? No. Are the keyboards in balance with the saxophone? No. Is the guitar in balance with the vocals? No. They all have their moments of soloing or taking the forefront. But here's the thing, with good music, they're always in harmony. So here's the paradigm shift for you. I want you to think of not work-life balance, but work-life harmony. And this is described in detail in the course, but it's also part of my book, Design the Ultimate You, which is free on the Great Discovery. And the thing is that you want to look at, well, here's the thing. I love this song by Joe Jackson. I'm older than I look, but there's a song by Joe Jackson that says, "You can't get what you want till you know what you want." It's a great song. And the thing is, it's so true because so many people, when you ask them, what do you want? They're like, well, I don't know. Or they kind of have an idea. So what this program does, it helps you to look at in a very unique way, what do you want? Right? But that's a big question. What do you want? Right? Who here can answer what you want in like a simple, quick answer? Right? Probably not many of us, if any. The thing is, when you start to look at, well, what do you want as far as your health? And then there's different aspects of your health. What do you want as far as your finances? What do you want as far as your loving relationships? So, yeah, world peace. I like that, Renee. That's great. Yeah, we all want world peace, right? But what does that mean, world peace, right? World peace, you got a lot of work to create world peace. First, you got to get all these people talking peacefully to each other, right? That's a whole nother thing. That's three courses down the road when I do my Influence with Integrity program, which will be coming out. That's a bigger program, though. So the thing is, when you look at creating harmony between these, it starts with looking at each area individually. So, really cool thing. Years ago, I had a friend who had a website, and she had this thing called the Wheel of Life, which is really what this is based upon. Any coach knows the Wheel of Life, and there's different versions of it. I had a very unique way of doing it, or so I thought it was unique, until I went to my friend's website, and she's the only one who had it set up to automatically present the Wheel of Life the way that I like to present it. Um, so I went with AI now. I went to her website to try and duplicate it. It's gone. But with my AI, I was able to duplicate it from the way I wanted it. Well, actually recreate it from the way that I wanted. So now that that was a key element that I really wanted people to be able to do this guided self-assessment to come up with a real quick idea of what their wheel of life looks like. So when you do that, that's the first part of it, is to evaluate where you're at, right? You can't program the GPS without knowing your current location. So this is a way of figuring out, where am I at? And then you could look at, okay, so what's out of harmony, right? What areas am I shining in, and what areas am I not? So if you look at balance, like let's say you're doing really good financially, but your health's not so good. So then you take all of your energy and you put it into your health, but what happens? It kind of does a seesaw effect, right? Because you spend all your money and all your effort on health, and your finances go down because you're not putting as much effort or energy into your career or your relationship. So the big three are health, wealth, and love. And then within those, there's subdivisions. But really, when you look at the areas, those 10 areas that I mentioned earlier, you can see by doing this quick assessment, rating each one with your level of satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10, you can start to see what your wheel looks like. And for some people where it's all over the place, it looks like a real bumpy ride. But that's good news. And the ideal is that you start to look at it, well, why are those areas weaker and some areas stronger? So when you take an area where you have a lot of strength in, where you score it high, and then you compare that to an area where you scored low, you can take what makes that area strong, right? Maybe you put more energy into it. Maybe it just comes naturally to you. Maybe you've focused on that because of past traumas in your life. So people that have had a situation where they lost money, or they grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of money, they focus on making a lot of money. People that, like for myself, my father died at 55. I was just 19. So I put a lot of my effort and energy into health because I want to live longer. I got 3 kids and I want to be around for them for a little bit. I want to see my grandkids. My dad never got to see his grandkids. So, these are things where you look at, where are you focusing it? Then you can get into the details of, what do you want in those areas, right? So overall, yeah, we all want world peace, as Renee pointed out. But more specifically for you, what do you want for you in the area of health? So it might be eating healthy, it might be exercising regularly, it might be achieving a certain weight, it might be just feeling good and having a certain amount of energy. So you see, you can take it and define it the way that you want. This is not up to me. This is really just a guided, self evaluating program. But at the end, you're going to have what you want in each of those 10 areas. If you do it systematically, you can create a journal that you carry around with you and just take notes of what you want in each area. Now, the cool thing is there's a lot of overlap. And that really gets into how I bring it all together. So instead of trying to create balance, like how do you balance the 10 things? And we're looking at 10 areas of life over 8 different time frames, right? So the last thing you want to do to create balance in your life is create 80 goals, right? Who here wants to create 80 goals? I don't see any hands going up and I don't expect any, right? And I don't want that either. But what I explain in the program is a very unique formula that I call projects. And at any given moment, you're really only going to have one, two, or maybe three projects going on at any given moment. And in the program, I explain what a project is basically looking at multiple areas of your life over multiple time frames. So like let's say you want to join a gym to get in better shape, right? So that could fall under health. It could also fall under self-help or self-growth, right? It could also fall under friends. You might go with a friend or you might make friends there. You might meet a romantic partner. You might go with family. So you see how that could cover multiple areas of your life. And you don't want to go to a gym just for the next 2 weeks or the next month. You want to go ongoing, and that could progress. So the first time frame, you could go maybe once a week, right? Then you could go twice a week, and in the next 3 months you could up it. So you set it the way that you wanted to, and I just created the framework for you to look at your life in this way. And this is the foundation to basically everything that I do, because you have to know what you want. Once you know what you want, then it's a lot easier to get it. You know, there's a great book, and I'm not recommending the book, but the title kind of says it all. If you don't know where you're going, you'll probably wind up somewhere else. So it's, this helps you start to create the GPS, so to say. This is the roadmap to get what you want. So if you know what you want as far as your health, you know what you want as far as your career, you know what you want as far as your finances, you know what you want as far as your relationships of friends, family, and significant other. You know what you want in terms of your physical location, where you want to live in the world, what you want your house to look like, how you want to decorate it. All of this, the macro and the micro of each area of this, then you can start to program the sequence of how this is all going to unfold for you. So that's really the preface of the whole program. And it's called Circle of Excellence because it's a wheel, right? And when that wheel is functioning in harmony, which doesn't mean it's always in balance, there's times in your life where, hey, we're building a business here on the Great Discovery. You might be focused more on your career and your finances right now. And, it doesn't mean you put your health to the side, doesn't mean you put your relationships to the side, but maybe for the next couple of months, you focus on building your business and you put a lot of time and effort and energy into that. When I started my hypnosis practice, I wanted to have an extra $10,000 cash as a buffer, right? And this is going back 30 years ago. So 10,000 was a little bit more significant than it's still a decent amount of money, right? So over and above my income and over and above my expenses, I wanted an extra $10,000, and I wanted to launch in 3 months. So I had 90 days to save an additional $10,000. What that required me to do was to get a second job. So I was working 16-hour days. And fortunately, I achieved the goal before 90 days. So I was able to stop with one of the jobs and I achieved my goal. I had the extra $10,000 and I launched my business. So was I in balance? No way. I was way out of balance. But, like in good music, like I was talking about before, sometimes there's a saxophone solo or a guitar solo, right? And that could be, a significant part of the song. Do the drums and the keyboards and the singer feel left out when the saxophone solo is going? No, they understand it's part of what makes the overall song great. So that's how I really want you to shape your thinking, that you can create this circle of excellence. When you have harmony for your wheel of life, it becomes that circle of excellence and it starts to spin smoothly. And the more you harmonize that wheel, the more that all areas of your life grow. So a lot of people, they're looking about the quantity of things in each area. And some of your goals might be about quantity, but I really urge you to focus on the quality of each area of your life. So again, coming back to like the trifecta, which would be health, wealth, and love, which is the basis of the circle of excellence, is that when you have all of those in harmony, then you expand in all areas and you can take all aspects of the way that you live your life to a more rewarding level. So that's it. I'd love to open it up for questions. And then I do have a special offer for my other program, which I promoted last time, which is Hypnotic Virtual Vacation. And I'm going to offer the first nine people 50% discount. So I will post that in the chat. I don't know if I did it right, but I put in the user code as VV50, so Virtual Vacation 50. And hopefully that works. If not, you can contact me directly and I'll give you the 50% discount.
All right, do we have questions for Mark or comments? I will just comment, that's a great discount and that's a great program. So that will be really fun for those that take advantage of it.
Yeah, so I was offering a more significant discount on the video that I had posted, and Ross was kind enough to point that out to me, but I did give him the discount. So I honored it because it was in the video, even though it wasn't on the course. But yeah, that takes about 2 hours of my time to create. So it's worth it at full price. And you get the benefit of your ideal vacation. And you're back home in 45 minutes or less without having to worry about catching a plane.
And the course you're talking about tonight, Mark, is a Genius Club course, correct?
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and put
So
that
that's
in
included
the
for
chat.
everybody in Genius Club, and I'm looking to promote that because that's the precursor to my next program, which is the expanded version of my book, Design the Ultimate You. So
Okay, great.
that will most likely be an academy level course, Design the Ultimate You, and this will be a prerequisite for it. Because again, it's you have to know what you want to get what you want. So this is really for anyone who wants to figure out what you want in these areas of your life. So I've got videos on there. I've got an audio that you can download and listen to over and over again that helps you to figure out. It's a semi-hypnotic audio, which there is a warning on there. Don't listen to it while you're driving. And yeah, I just wanted this to offer the most value to people to be able to figure out what you want. I mean, that's the basis of most self-help that's out there, coaching that's out there, is to help you to define what do you want. And this breaks it down into, like Tim was saying earlier, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? How do you figure out what you want? Well, one area at a time, and maybe even one criteria in one area at a time. But then you build that list, and then from there, I show you how to create the GPS roadmap on how to get there. The cool thing about a GPS is that it's not a regular map. Anyone here who remembers old school maps where you have to fold it out and you look at it, right? If you go down the wrong way, you have to go back to where you started and reroute again, right? Whereas with GPS, it's a dynamic map and it recalculates based upon where you are. So this course will help you to create a plan. But the cool thing is your subconscious mind then goes to work and creates the plan. So most people who do this, they'll set things that they're expecting to happen 2 to 5 years from now, and they happen in a year. They're setting things that they plan to happen in a year to 2 years, and they happen in 6 months. And that's just the power of your subconscious mind. And it thinks what's called recursively. So it looks at something and then looks at it again and again and again. And it keeps reiterating the question in your mind to refine it and get down to smaller and smaller details where you figure out, okay, here's a better way to do it. Here's a faster way to do it. Here's a more efficient way to do it. Here's a more enjoyable way here's a more fun way to do it, right? So that's the whole thing. This is an iterative process. And I urge you that when you go through this, to just have fun with it and play with it and realize like once you get it done, it's done. It's not like you have to keep going back and doing that. I mean, you could reiterate it once you get past those 5 and 10 year goals. But the thing is, it's kind of a set it and forget it. And it came about, like I said, it was originally homework for my other course. And it really developed into, I think, a key part of it, the very significant first part of it. So anyone have any questions? I'm here to answer whatever you want.
All right, questions, anyone?
Let me show you guys exactly how to get to Mark's courses. Let's do a quick screen share here. You'll be able to take a quick peek. So over here on your own greatdiscovery.com site, you can find Mark's courses just by going into search. You can type in his last name, Siegel, and you'll be in the circle of excellence right there. You click on it, open it up. Now, as long as you're here on your own website, your own marketplace site, you're able to share that. So just click and share. You can share it to Facebook, you can share it to Instagram, you can share it to just about anything, or just go and copy the link right here and you can paste it and get credit for any sales that are on there. That's what makes the Great Discovery Affiliate Marketplace so effective, is you can take advantage of it that way. So I hope you guys will take advantage of Mark's course, and thank you so much, Mark, for coming on. Dr. Kathy, is there anything else? Any other questions anybody has?
We'll find out any questions.
I don't have any questions, but I do have like feedback that's a great topic. I definitely think it's helpful for the community, people, and managing their time, and definitely something that I want to leverage in regards to helping the people that I serve in my community and my network, and just even in my business, I do virtual therapy, just bringing them to this source as a reference to how to manage and balance. Like you said, I love what you say, having harmony rather than trying to balance, but being in harmony with each other with all things that you do. So that's a great topic, great work, and thank you for sharing.
And I am definitely open to feedback. Anyone who checks it out, if there's things you think I should add or remove, just let me know. Yeah, I'm always open to feedback.
Okay, great. Anybody else?
Just want to say this was inspirational, Mark. Thank you. I like your approach.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much. Thank you for the discount on the Academy course. Please check that out, everybody, or pass it on. It's a great course. It's an Academy course. Mark will work with you to create your virtual vacation, and at 50% off. What a steal. So go for that and check out his other courses. And I know you'll be back because you've got more programs you're putting on the.
I do. I'm cranking them out.
That's great.
So I will definitely be back when the Design the Ultimate You course is out there, and that will be a combination of stuff that's on the platform and then also live group coaching along with that.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mark. We'll see you on Wednesday for our next course spotlight. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Mark. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.